يأمر أعضانه وأركانه وجلده أن يتكلم. And then he will order his parts. The man's parts who asks for witnesses only from himself. Allah will seal his mouth and will allow his limbs and allow his skin and allow every part of his body to testify. To testify. You want witnesses from yourself? We're going to give you what you want and we're going to grant you. فيقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فتشهد عليه جوارحه وأركانه فإذا خلي بينه وبين الكلام. So Allah subhanahu, the Prophet said, so he will, or Allah will allow his skin and his limbs and his faculties to testify against him. And they will say, he did this and this on such and such day. He did that and that on such and such day. Everything that he had committed, everything he's been trying to hide. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will release his mouth and his tongue. Will allow him to speak again. فيقول فيسب أركانه ويلعنها. So when Allah allow him to speak, he will curse himself. And he will curse his parts. And he will curse his faculties. And he will curse his skin. And he will curse his eyes. And he will curse his hands and his legs that he was trying to save from the hellfire. And they are the ones who testified. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وقال لها سحقا لكن سحقا لكن فعنكن كنت أناضل سحقا لكن فعنكن كنت أناضل. That he will curse his parts and his faculties and his limbs, and he will say, hell for you, hell after you. I was trying to defend you. All I was arguing with the Lord to defend you and save you from the hellfire. And you are the ones who got me in there and got yourself. So even yourself will testify against you. So be aware. All that body that you take care of, that body that you fulfill the desires, you look for the food, the best food to enjoy, and you don't care halal or haram. You look for the pleasures, and you don't care halal or haram. You are ready to commit any sins, as they said. I don't care about how I get it. Halal, haram. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. So don't tell me riba, and don't tell me stealing, and don't tell me khamr, and don't tell me pork. I don't care. For them, الغاية تبرر الوسيلة. For them, as long as they achieve what they want, they don't care how they got it. For what? To nourish their body, to enjoy it themselves. And this same body that they were trying to give pleasure to, whether it's halal or haram, they didn't care, is the one that's going to testify against them. So even yourself, so Allah will testify, the angels will testify, the Rusul will testify, the people will testify, the Ummah of Muhammad will testify, and your own body will testify. قال الله تعالى اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون. Allah says, the confirmation of the hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Surah Yasin, He said, today we will seal their mouths, and their hands will talk, and their legs will testify what they used to do. About what they used to do. So be aware of that. And that is the second one, the third one. So hasanat turns sayyi'at turns hasanat. Good deeds are multiplied. And the third is what we said, testify. Witnesses. Witnesses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will establish the complete verdict. And the fourth, لا تزر وازرة وزر. The fourth rule, لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. That everyone will be held accountable for what he had done, for what he had committed, for the responsibilities that Allah put on his shoulders. So don't use لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. So when you are told, tell your kid to pray, he said لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. Tell your wife to pray, لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. Wake your family to pray Fajr, لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. They have their own religion and I have my own religion. They will be questioned about what they have, and I will be questioned about what I'm responsible. You are responsible about them, especially if you're a man. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة. O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from a hellfire that the fuel of it people and rocks and stones. So you are responsible about them. You are responsible about them. ما من عبد استرعاه الله رعية فمات يوم مات وهو غاش لرعيته إلا حرم الله عليه الجنة. That there is no one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has entrusted him with a trust. And the day he dies and he had not fulfilled such trust and he had betrayed such trust, but Allah will forbid him from Jannah. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Every one of you is in charge and every one of you is guardian and will be asked about that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him in charge of. So be aware. So when we say وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, no one will be held accountable for other people's sins. Don't say that it's my own way and that's it. Myself, that's all I'm worried about. Such thing doesn't work and doesn't fly. There are people you're responsible about, those you will be asked about as well. So be aware. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not come on the day of judgment and ask you and hold you accountable for the sin of Adam alayhi salam, like the Christians think, for example, or the sin of so and so. That is not your responsibility. قال الله تعالى وكل إنسان ألزمناه طائره في عنقه ونخرج له يوم القيامة كتابا يلقاه منشورا اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا من اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. ويقول الله عز وجل أولم ينبأ بما في صحف موسى وإبراهيم الذي وفى ألا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. So you are questioned about your own sins. That's why on the day of judgment you don't know your father, you don't know your mother. Everyone will say nafsi, nafsi. You come to your father, or your father will come to you on the day of judgment. You're my son. I brought you to the world. I take care of you. I work day and night. And I did the haram just for you, to provide good life for you, and to give you the best education, and to give you the best food, and the best clothes, and the best house. And you tell him, get away. Nafsi, nafsi. Myself, myself. If the prophets of Allah will say myself, myself, as we said, Adam will say myself, myself. Nuh will say myself, myself. Those people who dedicated their whole life for people to save them from the hellfire, on the day of judgment they will say myself, myself, except our Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The other rule, i'darullahi khalqa. And that is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do everything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had done everything. So we have no excuses on the day of judgment. He had sent us the messengers, and He has sent us the prophets, and He has sent us the books, and He had sent us the guidance, and He had showed us the truth, and He had showed us the falsehood. So we don't come on the day of judgment and we say we did not hear. We don't come on the day of judgment and we say no messenger came to us. Alright? وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We were not to punish people until we send them a messenger. They send a messenger, he sends a messenger, they don't follow, they fight, then they deserve the punishment. Without a messenger they don't. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make sure, يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى يوم تجد كل نفس ما عملت من خير محضرا وما عملت من سوء تود لو أن بينها وبينه أمدا بعيدا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, every soul will see on the day of judgment every good thing she did. Every soul will see every good thing they did. And every bad thing they did in front of them. All they try to do is to run away from the bad thing. They don't deny it, but they try to run away from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت. Every soul will know what it has done. علمت نفس ما أحضرت. Every soul will know what it has brought forth or forth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make sure that no one has an excuse, and will make sure that no one can claim that they did not receive the message. And the last part, or the last rule that we're talking about concerning the Hisaab and the account, العدل التام لا يشوبه أي ظلم. The complete the complete justice. Complete justice. Absolute justice. There is no oppression by any means. No contamination of injustice on that day and on Al-Hisaab.